Hey, what's up, guys? So somebody asked a question the other day because I made a video, I did a TikTok, it became very, very controversial, and so I got a lot of hate back. I got some positive comments back, but I think the majority of the comments were negative, were demeaning, and they were challenging my advice or my perspective, my stance on buying homes. So if you've heard me talk before, I talk and I say that, hey, look, there's nothing wrong with owning a home. You just shouldn't own a home with your paycheck. And so people lose it, they go ape, over it, and rah, 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 and I get all these negative comments. And then Cardone says, hey, don't buy a house. A house is a bad investment. And I don't necessarily say it that way because I don't have a problem with you buying a home. Again, I just have a problem if you buy the house with your paycheck. And there's a big reason that I say it that way, because I used to own a home with a paycheck. So I know what I'm talking about. This is firsthand experience. And a 30-year mortgage means that you've got to pay for 360 consecutive months whatever the mortgage amount is. And if you don't know how to make money, or you have no other sources of income, and your job is your only source of income, and that's how you fund the home, then two things. Number one, you're in voluntary prison. You're in a voluntary prison for 30 years because you've got to pay that mortgage for 30 years, or they're going to want to take their home back. Even if you pay 29, they're still going to want to take their home back. Number two, I'm not a homeowner. I'm a loan owner. I do not own a home, do not have the title to the home. It belongs to the title holder or the lender. So I'm not even a homeowner. I'm a loan owner. And number three, if you buy the house with your paycheck and you're the one making the payments, then you own a liability. Owning liabilities are usually not good things, right? So the things that you pay for out of your own pocket is a liability. If you if you buy a car, the car note is due each month, that's a liability. Money leaves you to go to the car payment. If you buy a house and the mortgage is due each month, that's a liability, because now the payments leave you and they go to the bank. So a house that you live in and pay a note on is a liability, and you've got to understand that it is. And there's nothing wrong with having a house. It's just the problem I have is I'm like, hey, don't buy the house with your freaking paycheck, because that means you're going to have to go to work for the next 30 years to pay off this mortgage. And if you don't, they're going to want their house back, number one. Number two, even if you pay it off, you still got property taxes and repairs and maintenance, right? So you've got to deal with that. And number three, you've just pretty much gotten the worst liability you're ever going to have, which is a depreciating. Well, they love to say that homes appreciate. Total lies. There's negative equity. They don't talk about that, because why would they? Why would you buy a house if you knew there was a possibility of you getting negative equity? Why would you invest in a home if you knew it was a liability and not an asset? Why would you, get a loan on a mortgage if you knew that the word mortgage meant death pledge? But again, nobody's going to buy a death pledge, so they rename it, repackage it, and then sell it to you, because everybody's convinced you that in order to solidify yourself as an adult or a responsible person or as someone who's successful, you have to own a home. All lies. Now, I'm going to build my dream home very soon, right? And so, again, I'm not against owning a home. I'm against owning homes using paycheck. Cardone says don't buy a home. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that if you buy a home with your paycheck, you're in trouble. So the way to buy a home is not by using your paycheck. And I should do a breakdown illustration of this and just put it on my board and show you guys how this works. You should use income from an asset that produces cash flow to buy your home. I call it the ACL formula. Asset times cash flow equals liability, which in this case is your home. So let's say the average mortgage for a house you like is $3,000 a month. Okay, fine. Now, you go and you create an asset, invest, start a business, start a middleman business like I teach you to do, whatever you want to do. Let it mature, let it produce $3,000 a month, and now you have your house payment, and it doesn't require you to go to work or have a paycheck or sell your time for money. You simply use the ACL formula. You simply learned how to get an asset or start a business, let that business grow, and then when it grows, you just simply use the money from the business to buy the house, right? Does that make sense? If it makes sense, hit the thumbs up. If you want me to do a breakdown illustration, put a number 1 in the comments, and I'll teach you how to do it, because it's so simple, so easy, and that's how I'm going to build my dream house. I'm not going to build it using a job. I'm not going to build it by selling time for money. I'm not going to build it by working 2 to 3 jobs to get the income. No, that's struggle life. I'm going to build it by using my business to pay for it. So by the way, if you want to learn how to start your own middleman business, just put the word middleman in the comments below, and we can get you started to build your own successful business. So I hope this blesses you. I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm just saying, if you buy a house using your paycheck, somebody's got to pay that house note for 30 years. That someone is you. And if the only way you know how to make money is with your job, you got to stay at work. There's no freedom for you. You got to go to work. But I'll teach you how to own the house and be free. See you guys on the next video.